So once again po, we'd like to thank all of you for joining us today for another 1.5 hour para po sa isang interesting topic. Today, we'll be focusing on Miro, which is an online whiteboard collaborative platform that brings together a team anytime, anywhere. So interesting po yung topic natin today, no? That will be shared later po ng ating invited guest. So by the way, I'm Beverly R. Pabro, University Extension Specialist ng UPLB CATL. And together po, kasama rin po natin ngayon ang ating director, si Dr. Edmond Centeno. Good morning, sir.
Hello po, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat and welcome to session 3 of our training series.
Yes, kasama rin po natin si Nilo Torio, ang ating po UPLB CATL staff that will assist us in today's session. So after this session po, we hope that you will learn how to use and maximize yung benefits of using Miro in facilitating or yung collaborative learning activities nyo sa inyong mga klase. But before we start, let me first mention po yung ating mga reminders for all the participants for today's session. So microphones and cameras of all the participants will be turned off during the training session. But during the Q&A, the participants may send their questions through the Zoom chat box or click the raise hand if you want to speak and directly ask your questions to our guest speaker. So e-certificates will be given upon accomplishing the evaluation form. So later, share po natin yung ating link sa ating chat box. And don't forget po to accomplish the evaluation form until April 23 tomorrow para po ma-receive niyo po yung e-certificates niyo po, no? So at this point po, let me first introduce our guest speaker for today. Okay, ang ating guest speaker for today po ay si Assistant Professor Chip Guzman. He is an Assistant Professor from the Department of Agribusiness Management and Entrepreneurship under the College of Economics and Management here in UPLB. He is handling courses in marketing, entrepreneurship, and management economics. He is also the Project Development Associate of UPLB CATL. Before joining UPLB, he was part of the UP Baguio Institute of Management. So let us all welcome from sa Zoom space, Assistant Professor Chip Guzman. Good morning, Sir Chip.
Okay po, good morning po. Thank you po, Miss Bev, sa ating sa introduction. Okay. So good morning po sa lahat ng nagpunta dito for a Friday morning. So medyo maaga. And then thank you din po kay Sir Ed kasi in-invite niya ako to share to you yung ginagamit namin sa klase, which is yung Miro. Okay? So siguro I can share na my screen. Okay lang ha. So good morning po sa lahat ulit. Hopefully masarap ang breakfast ninyo. Okay. Let me know if my screen is already shared. Baligtad pala, no? Share. Hindi po ba mapatingin kung naka-share na yung screen ko? Okay. Okay. So very quick lang naman na let me introduce muna din or parang medyo quick na pakilanlan lang din muna. Okay? So disclaimers po muna before we go to the training. Very quick disclaimer. I'm not an expert user of Miro. Okay, but I utilize it in my classes. So I'll share to you kung ano yung mga ginagamit namin when we are conducting classes. And then I usually interchange F&P tsaka B&V. So if ever na medyo meron akong masasabi, recorded na naman yon. Okay, so apologies in advance. Tuloy lang naman natin yon. Okay, so also, it's okay to interrupt me while doing yung ating session. So just raise your hand or do it in the chat box. Okay. Also, pakisabi kung may delay yung pinapakita ko sa screen versus yung sinasabi ko para maintay ko kayo. Okay. So, and then, yun lang po. Okay. So, medyo quick reminders lang po yun kasi minsan my software or my screen is lagging. So, iba yung nakikita nila sa pine-present ko. Okay? So also, siguro before we start, let me invite you in our Miro board. Okay? So, you can go to this Miro board. Let me just share this link to everyone. Okay, so it's bit.ly/CATL Miro. CATL MIRO. Miro pala. So I invite everyone to be part of CATL MIRO. Okay? So sundan ko kayo doon sa screen natin sa Miro. Okay. So intayin ko, meron na ba ditong mga participants? Okay. So Miro po does not require you to register. So you can participate here in the collaboration without registering. Ang pinagkaiba lang po ng registered kayo sa Miro versus not registered ay mga visiting yung inyong mga profile. So if you look at this, okay, nakalagay dito visiting architect, visiting builder. Compared pag kayo po ay nandito na talaga sa Miro at nag-register kayo, mismong pangalan niyo po yung lalabas dito. Okay? So I invite you to be in Miro. Okay, so yan, for example, mukhang meron na tayong registered na sa Miro. Okay? So I invite you dito sa ating Miro board. Also, if you are using mobile, yun yung isang ano natin, if you are using mobile, hindi kayo makaka-edit if wala kayo nung application natin. So you need to download yung Miro application, okay, in order to participate in the collaboration. Okay? So mukha namang meron ng mga tao dito. So for those na wala pa dito, okay, so hindi naman ganun ka-tedious din or hindi ganun kahirap yung registering process, okay? Or just click the link and then be here with me in Miro. Okay. So yan, mukhang meron na tayo ditong 11 participants. Okay. Sige. Okay. First, feelings check. Okay. So try na nating magkaroon ng interaction. Okay. Let's try to use yung value proposition or kung ano man yung ino-offer sa atin ni Miro. Okay? So, kung I invite everyone to be here, okay? So, hopefully, pasok kayo doon sa bit.ly/CATL MIRO. Okay? So, yan. Hintayin lang tayo ng konti. Okay. So, very quick, para din ma-experience natin how to use Miro. Okay? So first, we can do a feelings check. Okay? So I have here 5 different feelings na typical when you are just having session in the morning. Okay? So meron ako dito ang happy, nakangiti po ako ngayon at tatawa anytime. Lungkot, hindi ko na po i-elaborate. Pagod at kababangon lang po or antok pa. Masyado po pong maaga magka-feelings and game na ako ready. Okay? So ito naman po, dependent on your feeling, kung ano na-feel nyo ngayon. Hindi naman dapat maging game na lahat. Okay? So what I will ask you to do now, ayan. So I will ask you to just check or click yung ating post-it note here. Okay? So just click yung post-it note here. Okay? On your side, there is a post-it note box here, okay, or the sticky note. And then, can you click? Okay, can you click it? And then, lagay lang kayo kung saan nyo gusto or ano yung nafe-feel nyo. Okay, so siguro ang pinaka i-ask ko ngayon sa inyo is that you put your name, okay, you put your name on the post-it, kahit nickname. Okay, so for example, Chip, okay, can you put your name here and just drag your post-it kung saan man yung feelings ninyo. Okay, so yan. Okay, so first, activity natin yan. So first, mukha namang nakapag, or marunong kayo mag-Miro, or if ever man yung mga visitors natin for today, very easy naman yung navigation sa Miro. Okay? So yun muna yung first task natin. Okay? So what I would want you to do is just click a post-it here. Select your color, kung anumang color meron kayo. Okay? So drag it towards kung anumang feeling meron kayo, and then put your name. Kunyari isang name ko naman, Renen Zilardo. Okay? So ito daw po yung basihan natin ng certificate. Joke lang. Okay. So nandito yung attendance natin for the certificate. Okay. Okay. So it's a combination of happy, antok pa, game na ako. Okay. So, sige. Okay. Next na ipapagawa ko po sa inyo, okay? Punta na agad tayo muna sa labeling, okay? So, isa sa magandang feature nito ng Miro is that you can tag, okay? You can classify or tag your post-its. Okay? So ito medyo ina-advance ko na para magamit natin mamaya. Okay. Next task na pwede natin gawin dito is that can you again click your post-its, okay? And then if you look at this parang price tag na option, okay? Meron kayo ditong price tag na option or yung add tag. Can you tag, okay, kung saang college kayo galing? Okay, for example, I'm from SEM. Pag kinlik nyo itong tag, meron kayong makikitang options ng colleges. So kindly tag kung saang college kayo and kindly tag kung ano ang inyong sex or gender. SEM, male. Okay? So lagyan lang natin ng tag yung mga sarili natin. Mamaya gagamitin natin yan. Okay? So next task o dalawang function na ng Miro yung nagamit natin. Okay? So can you click yung name ninyo? And then there's a tag here. Okay? There's a tag here wherein you can choose, okay? Or you can click kung saang college kayo belong and then kung ano yung sex or gender ninyo. Okay? So mamaya this would be beneficial for us. Okay? So college and then yung gender natin. So hopefully magkaroon tayo ng dalawang mga tags. Okay? So lagay ko na rin ang isa kong tag dito. SEM, male. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So thank you po again. So nag-feelings check lang tayo. So generally game, wala pang feelings, antok pa, and happy. Okay? So, balik na ako doon sa main discussion ko. Okay? Thank you po sa pagpa-participate dito sa ating very first na activity. Okay? So, let me give you yung flow of our discussion for today. Okay? So, for this Teaching with Technology training series, I will discuss about what is Miro or Miro. Okay? So what is Miro? How is it different from other collaboration platforms? Okay. Then how to navigate Miro? How do we use the functions that it has? Okay. Some features, and then my experiences in using Miro, or I'll share to you how I use Miro. Okay. And yun lang po. Okay. So let me start with about Miro, or what is Miro. Okay, so Miro is a it's a platform which allows you to collaborate. Okay, meaning that you can participate and put your inputs and share simultaneously. Since it's simultaneous, one of the features of Miro as well is that it is real time. So when you input Word, when you provide post-it, it is already displayed without lags. Okay, so this allows us to have a more collaborative and more immersive sessions, and dito din nakikita natin yung pagka-interactive ng ating mga classes. Okay, so generally Miro is a whiteboard sharing application or platform where you can write, where you can post and add different items. Okay, so I know you are also might be familiar with Jamboard, and yesterday's session is about Padlet. So, ano nga ba ang difference ng Padlet saka Jamboard and then Miro? Okay? So, these three are all collaborative platforms. Okay? So, generally, okay? So, this is Jamboard. So, Jamboard is a collaborative platform as well. You can have post-it, you can also post text, you can also post shapes and images. But the main difference of Jamboard is that Jamboard is a slide-based platform, meaning you are working per slide. Okay? So, kaya tayo meron dito sa taas, or that's why we have this slide flow here. So Miro is more of an open platform. Okay? So open siya, and it's an endless platform, so not really confined on the size or the slide itself. Okay? So that's the main difference between Jamboard and Miro. Okay? So what is the difference naman in terms of Padlet? Okay? Padlet, it's also a platform, okay, which is collaboration platform. Okay? Padlet is same with Miro. It is also an open platform, or it's an endless platform. That's so that when you provide inputs, the Padlet will extend and will extend and will extend. Okay. Similarly, Miro and Padlet is more flexible in terms of the items that you can put in the pad itself. Okay. But the main difference between Miro and Padlet, okay, let me share again the Miro application that I have. Okay. Padlet is confined, okay, towards its screen only until you provide inputs. So for example, I cannot zoom in or I cannot zoom out Padlet. I'm zooming it out now. Okay. So unless I provide inputs from it. Okay. The difference with Miro is that starting pa lang, endless na agad yung Jamboard natin. Jamboard, yung ating whiteboard. Okay? So, and then I think Miro has more features, and the user interface is generally more flexible and appealing towards the user. Okay. So, the next topic that I will go to na would be the navigation. Okay? So, wait lang. But before I go to the navigation, okay, sige. Before I go to the navigation, siguro may I ask you lang, okay? So gumawa tayo dito ng blackboard. So we have a blackboard here, okay? So let me hear muna what are the different classroom challenges, okay, that you face, okay? Or ano yung mga problems and challenges you notice among students? Okay, so what are the challenges that we see or notice among them? And then also as a self-reflection from us, okay, what are the problems and challenges also that we notice among teachers? Okay, so I'll ask you again to use yung ating sticky notes. Okay? So let's populate this. So para maging anonymous, I won't ask you na lang to provide your names. So let me give you siguro 3 minutes in order for us to populate or share what are the problems and challenges that we notice among students. And then what are the problems and challenges that we notice among teachers? Okay, so quick request, can we use the English language in providing our comments or the challenges that we see among our students and our teachers, because we'll use it also later. Okay, so just post anything here. For example, not attending regularly. Or not attentive. Okay, so just share to us the challenges and then the problems you notice among teachers and then among professors. Okay, so let me give you, siguro tama na yung 2 minutes in order for us to populate this. Extend ko na lang if kailangan pa ng time later. Okay, so let me give you 2 minutes in order for you to provide your inputs or share your thoughts among the classroom changes that we have. Okay, so tingnan natin, distraction. Okay, so I invite you here dito sa ating blackboard. So last 1:30 minutes. Okay. Hindi ko pala nalagyan ng music. So later, let's provide music later. Ayan, nakita ko na working and madami-dami na. Okay. Home is not conducive for online learning. Okay, workload, madaming workload. Online fatigue. Okay. It's hard to give online exams. Okay. So, ayan. So thank you for participating. Okay. So I showed you 2 features of Miro here. So how you input here. Okay. And then there is a feature in Miro that we can provide or we can add yung timer so that medyo ma-pressure yung ating mga students. Okay, lalo na limited yung time natin. Okay? So, sige, gawin natin. Now, siguro, we can ask someone to share. Okay? Pili tayo, for example, ng isang post-it dito. Okay? So that we can hear kung ano ba yung sinasabi or ano yung na-experience natin from them. Okay? So, sino yung nagsulat or can someone share itong personal issues affecting their learning performance? So, may I know who shared this item? Okay. So, can I have a sharing kung ano man itong personal, ano yung nakapapansin or yung nakikita natin or na-experience natin among students? Nandito ba si personal issues affecting their learning performance? Ayan. Ma'am, Prof. Marita De Lumen. Okay. So, good morning.
Sir.
Good morning
Yes,
po. Sige, quick sharing lang.
Yes, so sometimes po kasi students are parang raising their concerns that they have this personal issue sa bahay, so they're not able to provide the requirements, something like that. So, yun po, parang since we are in a remote learning setup, parang mas nagiging madalas na reason po yun. And so I observed po na ganun compared to face-to-face na medyo iba yung reason. Hindi po masyado yung mga personal issues. Kasi let's say nasa dorm sila or something, mga ganyan. But now, parang nagiging redundant yung mga ganong reasoning ng students. Yun po.
Okay. So thank you, ma'am. Salamat po sa sharing ninyo. Okay. So hindi ko naman tatawagin na lahat. Or I won't call everybody. So I'm just sharing how I use Miro. Okay. So generally when I'm having classes, so I'll ask them to have their inputs, and then in order for me to select or in order for me to have them participate, tatawag na lang ako dito. So at least nawawala na yung dead time or dead air that we have when we are asking, oh, sino ba yung ganito? So at least we have this board so that we can base our recitation with. Okay, so now, let's go back to that or to this board later. Okay, so let me just share you how to navigate Miro. Okay, so I know some of you or a majority of you are already users of Miro. So first, for those who are not yet familiar with Miro or first time to do Miro, these are the main screens of Miro. We have the cursor and zoom, the session control, settings and saving, and the tools here. Okay. So first, cursor and control. Cursor and zoom. Okay. On the lower right, okay, you have the zoom in. Okay. You have the zoom in and the zoom out function. Okay, medyo mabagalan. Okay. You have the zoom in and the zoom out function, but then the typical mouse control or the trackpad control of pinching it or zoom out to pinch out to zoom out, okay, is functioning. Okay, so you can pan to the left or pan to the right. Okay, so but if you don't have any of this, there is a function here to move and to zoom in and to zoom out. Okay, so on this session or this table menu, okay, this is your title, the file or the whiteboard you are using. There is settings here. Okay, you if you prefer to have no background grid, okay, so this is our background grid. You can remove them. Okay, so you also have a board history. Okay, so for me, board history has been very useful for me. Okay, because in one of my sessions, one student has deleted all of our inputs in the class. Okay, so natanggal niya lahat ng inputs namin sa class. But then I just use this para ma-recover. Okay, so when we are doing Miro, okay, you can undo and undo and undo, okay, until you are in the website. But if you go out of the website, the undo button or the undo function will not work. Okay, laging fresh screen si Miro. Okay, that's why kinailangan ko si board history. Okay, you can also set your start view. Okay, you can click this and select which will be the landing page of the students when they entered or when they enter Miro. Okay, so I can set it. Okay, I can set it here if I want them to arrive immediately in the navigation menu. Okay, or I can set it on this. So depends on you where you want them to land when they enter Miro. Okay, cancel ko lang. Okay, let me go again here. Okay, for those who are here or just arrived, you can again join us in Miro by going to bit.ly/CATL Miro. Okay, so other functions here. Okay, so this is the feeds that we have, but I don't usually use this. If you want to export this board as an image or as a whole image or as a PDF, okay, you can export this using this function. Okay, so this would be your record section if you want this to be downloaded in your hardware or software. Okay, is board history not available for unregistered? Ay, hindi ko po sure yung board history for Miro, ayan, siguro kailangan ko munang i-research yon. Kung walang board history for, baka wala siyang board history kasi wala kayong babalikan. Okay? Again, Miro pala is free. Okay? Nung nag-register ako sa Miro, they did not ask me for any funds. And then, so far naman, wala pa ako na-encounter na limit doon sa usage ko. Okay? So, yon. Wala sa tab. Baka po yon kasi baka pag when we go back to Miro, dahil hindi tayo registered or hindi tayo user, okay? Walang magiging records. Okay? So baka isa yon sa advantage ng pagiging registered user. Okay? So, now let's do yung tools natin. Okay? So, let's go to the tools first. This is your select tool. Okay? If I will select this thing, I can select it. Okay? Next, Miro has many templates. Okay? You can start from scratch. I usually start from scratch. Okay? But there are many templates available for Miro. For example, if you click this button, okay, medyo madaming templates na available. Okay? So you can have your scamper technique, your reverse brainstorming. Okay? You can have mapping and diagrams or concept map. If you want to have a mind mapping session, okay, there are different items here. Okay, so if I want, for example, for us to have, kunyari sa klase ko, meron kaming position mapping. Okay, so I can click this, use template. Okay, and it will be already provided in my whiteboard. Okay. Isa sa maganda sa Miro is that when you select all, okay, automatic na siyang mag-adjust. So very easy yung navigation. Na wala masyadong deformity in terms of the usage or the shapes that we use. Okay. So very drag and drop and click and use lang sa Miro. Okay? So if I want to delete it, delete. Okay. So that's the template. Okay. You can also save templates. Okay. So that others can use it publicly. Okay. There is a limit in the number of boards to 5. You need to free some boards if you activate. Ayan. So ayan, sharing ni Sir Nel. Okay. There is a limit in the number of boards to 5. Then you need to free some board if you activate additional ones. Okay. Ayun. So meron daw palang 5 na board. Okay? So tingnan ko mamaya yung sa akin. Okay? So this is the text function. Okay? This is the text function. When you use this, you can click it here and then you just can type something. So hello. Okay? And then you can change the font. Okay? You can change the size. Okay? You can bold, or you change yung font style niya, bold, italicized. Okay? Alignment, typical document function. Okay? So I can change the color. Kunyari, I want this in black. And then I want to highlight it. Okay. So that's the text function. Okay? Similarly kanina sa sticky notes. Okay? Just use the sticky notes. I can change the size. Okay. So font, similar lang naman. And then you can add tags. Okay. This will be useful later. Or you can also add emojis here. Okay. One of my most used item here is shapes. When I am creating different worksheets for my students, I just use shapes. Okay. So you can change its color. You can change its border. You can add more shapes here. And you can form different graphics here. Okay. So yan yung ating shapes. Hindi ko siya ma-delete. Okay. You can use arrows. Okay. Meron dito tayong different arrows wherein you can connect different post-it, different text, different shapes. Okay, so that's a function of Miro as well. Then I can draw using different type of writing material here or writing tool. Right? So I can draw here. Okay. So enter ko lang sa. May magic draw pala dito. There's a magic draw here wherein it transforms what I input or what shape I input here. So medyo good to know lang naman ito. Okay? I can again delete this one. Ayan, smart drawing. Medyo mabagal yung internet ko. So, tingnan natin yung function. Okay. There is a comment function here. Okay. So for example, if I provide, for example, if I want to add, yan, may heart na. Okay. If I want to add comment, I can provide comment. For example, click this or attend on this. Okay. If you have already a team in Miro, okay, you can add teams for your Miro board. You can add, for example, the class, you can add here as a team. You can add users here as a team. When you add them as a team, you can assign specific members here. Okay, for example, wag yung buong team. Sit the Guzman na lang para sa akin lang siya. Okay. When I assign this or when I mention it, okay, dito sa comments at kinlik ko yung send, okay, that will feed already in the email of the one I assigned it to. Okay. So para nanonotify sila, okay, na ops, meron kayong kailangang i-attend dito. So you can assign this. Okay. So yun yung comment function. Okay. So pag resolve na siya, resolve nyo lang siya. Okay. So isa pa pala sa limitation ng free Miro is that ang team lang niya na kayang i-cater ay 100 team members. Okay. So pag in-invite nyo sila sa team, 100 lang. But then if they are just participants, for example, hindi ko kayo in-invite sa team, okay, hindi kayo registered, meaning visitor ko kayo dito sa Miro board ko, it can go as many as 120. May isang workshop ako na 120 yung ginamit ko. Okay. May isang question dito. Can you use Miro as your whiteboard while in Zoom meeting? Opo. So for example, ito po. Ito na yung Miro. Okay. Ito na po yung Miro natin. So ginagamit na po natin siya while in Zoom meeting. Okay. So ito po. Meron dito nagtatanong. Okay. So Sir Ed, okay, higher ups, do we have plans to get Miro subscription for UP? Hindi ko na kung kailangan natin sumagot. Okay. So next item here is that you can frame. Okay. So what is framing? Okay. Framing, kung mapapansin nyo, this is already framed. Okay. So you can frame your boards in order for it to be organized. Okay. And when you frame boards, it automatically feeds through the presentation. Okay. One feature of Miro is that you can already present from Miro itself. Okay. So for example, I want to frame gumagana. I want to frame this classroom challenges. Ay, parang hindi ko nalagay yung frame. I want to frame this classroom challenges. Ito pala, frame 6. Okay? Kung ilalagay ko siya dito as frame 6, okay? So, makikita nyo na dito na automatic na siya na napunta dito sa ating frames. Okay? So, you can present actually this per slide. Okay? So, mamaya, papakita ko sa inyo yung presentation function. But then, if you frame this, you can have a specific flow for your presentation or your session. Okay? Close ko lang ito. Okay. So, what else that can we have here? Okay. In order for you to provide a more attractive whiteboard, I usually use this icon finder. So naglalagay lang ako, for example, kanina naglagay ako network. I can provide lang din naman. Or I can include, for example, a graphics here para din naman mas maganda yung itsura niya. Okay. So, what else can we have here? Mamaya ko nagagamitin yung iba. Okay. So, that's the basic functions of Miro here. Okay. So, yan. Next activity natin, okay, para naman may magamit natin yung tinuro ko sa inyo kanina. Okay. So, next activity natin is L balikan LB. Okay. So dahil pabalik na po tayo sa LB, karamihan sa atin. Okay. I invite you here in our map. Okay. So may mapa tayo dito ng LB. I-invite ko kayo dito sa aking map. Naghahanap ako ng function ng Miro na tatawagin ko kayo at mapupunta kayo lahat sa akin. Pero habang sinesearch ko, hindi ko pa siya makita. Okay? So, for the participants that we have, ayan, marami na kayong nagawa. Punta kayo dito sa L balikan LB. Okay? Ayan. Hintayin ko kayo dito sa L balikan LB. Ayan. Hintayin natin yung mga participants natin. Balik kayo dito sa aking mapa. So, medyo hindi ko pa naaral yung call function, pero I think hindi ko alam kung merong call function si Miro. Okay? So, so I invite you to scroll down. Okay? Papakita ko sa inyo kung nasan si Miro. Okay? Kung nasan man kayo ngayon, okay? Can we go here? Okay? Can we zoom in now dito sa L balikan LB? Okay? Again, it's bit.ly/catlmiro.com. Okay? So, try lang natin. Okay? So, try lang natin. Minsan nagpapaganito ako sa mga estudyante ko. Okay? So, can you provide or add sticky notes? Okay? Ano yung mga place na nami-miss nyo sa LB at bakit? For example, dito ako graduate. Okay? So, I will ask you lang to use yung function natin para lang din nakita natin na marunong kayo. For example, saan ba yung graduation? Yan. So, yan. If you are able to see or locate na yung ating items or yung ating mapa, okay? So, can you provide memories of Los Baños? Okay? So that we'll see kung ano yung mga memories nyo. Okay? So ginagamit lang natin yung function na post-it. Okay? Gamitin natin yung function na post-it. Okay? Tapos gamitin natin din yung function na arrow. So yung arrow, automatic naman siya, but then you can select it on a specific item. For example, dito. Ayan. Bawal magpa-pick pag hindi graduate. Ayan. So, ayan. Pwede nyo din namang ilagay na mismong doon na. Okay? So, nandun daw yung ILC dati. Okay? Dito ako kumukuha ng salary. Nag-text na po ba ang UPLB cashier? Ayan. So parang pina-experience ko lang sa inyo how we usually do it in our class. Okay? So, ayan. So you can use the icons. Okay? So, ayan. So, okay. So, wala na nga si Tori. Okay. 100 plus steps pupuntang UP. So at least ito, nakakapag-interact tayo with the students. Okay? So yun yung isa sa pinakagusto ko. Kasi feel ko, me as a professor, as a assistant professor, medyo hindi ako engaging pag nagtuturo. Kaya I resort to applications like this para makapag-participate sila. Okay. So, ayan. So thank you for providing your inputs. Okay. So at least nagamit natin yung isang function ng Miro or dalawang function ng Miro. Okay. So, next. Tapos na tayo sa navigation. Okay. Session controls. Okay. Dito tayo sa session controls. Okay. Dito sa session controls, okay. Ito ay chat. Okay. Pag gusto niyo makipag-usap doon sa Miro nyo, pwede kayo mag-chat dito. Hello, Philippines. Okay. So, lalabas dito. Sorry, no name ako. So, yan yung chat. Okay. Ito ay, pag nag-breakout frames tayo, when we do breakout frames, parang you are assigning specific breakout boards to them. But what I typically use, I just do breakout rooms and then I'll just assign them kasi medyo mahirap gamitin tong breakout frames. Okay. So, you can have timer and you can pick music. For example, Sunshine Jam. Okay. 10 seconds. Okay. Para ma-pressure or controlled yung ating session. Okay. Hindi ko alam kung rinig niyo. Okay. So, okay, when it's time's up there, okay. This is the presentation. So if I want to present, okay, Miro will present all my frames. Okay. Miro will present all my frames if I'm in the presentation mode. Okay. Notes, just specifically only notes. Okay. So, if I want to share Miro, okay, I can share it to them using this function or using this button. Medyo loading lang siya. Okay. If you are having a public use of Miro para din makapag-participate, I usually set it anyone with a link can edit. Okay. I don't usually use na yung set yung password. And I just copy yung Miro board ko and then share to you. Okay. So medyo open naman siya. So you can use this in your sessions even not registered. Okay. So yun yung basic session controls ng Miro. Okay. Now let me show you how I use it in the classroom. Okay. After the navigation, how do I use it in my classroom? Okay. So usually ganito yung ginagawa ko. Dito pala yan. Okay. Let me see kung nag-iba na yung aking space. Okay. Iba na po ba yung nakikita niyo na board? Tama ba? Baka naglalag pa rin ako. Do you now see a different board?
Naka-zoom out yung mga boards?
Okay. Sige, sir.
Mga panels? Oo.
Okay. So ito yung aking, paano ko siya ginagamit sa klase? Okay. So ito yung, this is how I use it in my class. Okay. So this is my marketing management class. Okay. So gumagawa lang ako ng mga templates. I use just shapes and text. Okay. And then, ginagamit ko na sila na guide ko habang nagle-lecture. Okay? So, paano ngayon pag may group works? Okay? Paano ngayon pag may group works? So, pag may group work, ang ginagawan ko sila ng template na color-coded na per group. So, for example, ito yung exercise 1 namin. Ito yung exercise 2 namin. So, nag-a-add lang ako ng mga board nila. Okay? Hanggat ito yung module 4 namin. Okay? Ito yung module 5. Okay? So hanggang makapunta kami dito sa aming module 6. So dahil endless siya, hindi na ako kailangang maggawa ng different Miro boards. Dagdag na lang ako ng dagdag dito. So I can post images, I can post lectures here. So I think what's effective sa ginagawa ko ay yung color-coded. Tapos naka-per group na sila. So medyo matrabaho ng konti, pero madali naman kasing gawin si Miro. Okay? So for example, let me share to you this session that I had. So nagkaroon ako ng workshop sa 100 tao, 120 persons. Okay? So hindi ko alam kung nakikita nyo na yung facilitating learning among adults. So this is a session I facilitated among FNRI employees. So ayan, nag-create naman ako ng templates din. So pero ito naman ay vertical yung integration. Okay? So para mas madali pag nagbe-breakout room sila, nilagyan ko na rin ng pangalan. So ayan, ito yung mga ginagawa ko para mas ma-engage yung mga estudyante at mas mag-collaborate sila. So natapos naman namin in half day. And okay naman yung outputs namin here. Okay? So ito isang class namin, and then among MSMEs. Okay? So among MSMEs, so ito yung mga small business owners natin. So if you're afraid na baka hindi nila magets or hindi kayanin, so ito ay yung mga small business owners natin. They were able to produce business plans using Miro. Okay? So ang pinapakita ko ngayon is yung session namin sa MSMEs. So noong una, hesitant kami if makakaya ba ng technology din, but then dito sila nag-enjoy. Okay? Pa-zoom in ng sample. Okay? So ito yung zoom in ng sample namin. Yan. So hindi ko alam kung naglalag ba yung aking screen. Okay? But then when we use this, nakukuha namin yung inputs nila. Okay? So ang pinaka-technique na ginagawa ko is use color codes. Okay? Para alam nila yung visual cues din when they are using Miro. Okay? Tapos yung initial training lang namin sa kanila, mga 5 to 10 minutes kasi very intuitive naman si Miro. Okay? So may isa pala akong reminder when we are using templates. Okay? When we are using templates, okay, kindly freeze, okay, the template. Okay, paano ba yon? Okay, kasi if you notice my Miro board here, hindi nyo siya magalaw. Okay? When you notice my Miro board, hindi nyo siya magalaw. Okay? Hindi nyo siya kayang i-move. Okay? So ang ginagawa ko when I'm creating a template, okay, for example, I'm creating a template for design thinking. So, kita na ba yung screen ko? So if I have the design thinking, kunyari gagawa kami ng how might we statement. Ay, hindi pala to. If I will create a how might we statement, okay. Tapos I'll ask my students, okay, how might we, nalagay na ako ng isa dito. Live editing to ng ating template. How might we make activity medyo naglalag yung computer ko. Activity improvement among kunyari ito yung exercise ko ngayon sa kanila. Gagawa sila ng design challenge. Okay. So nag-create na ako ng aking template. Okay. Lipat lang natin to. After I create a template, duplicate ko lang yan ng simpleng copy-paste. Ayan, sige. Ayan. Nakita nyo na yung gumalaw. Okay, wait lang. Sige. So what I can do here, wait lang ha, copy-paste ko lang to para malaman nyo kung paano gumawa ng template. Ay. Nasaan na ba yung freeze frame? Okay, select ko lang ito. Wait lang, naka-freeze na ba ito? Ba't tayo gumalaw nito? Hindi ko alam kung nag-hang yung Miro ko. Lipat na lang natin siya. Okay. So, create ulit ako ng aking template. Pakita ko lang kung paano ko ginagawa. Send to back. May send to back function naman siya. Wala ayaw. Send to back function. Okay. For example, ito na yung template ko. Okay. Copy-paste ko lang siya. So, very easy lang naman yung copy-paste. So, kunyari, meron akong 3 groups. I have 3 groups here. Paltan ko lang tong color ng isa. Green. Blue. Okay. So, ang gagawin ko dito, okay, pag gumagawa kayong template, kindly freeze them or lock them so that pag mag-i-input sila, hindi magagalaw yung inyong in-input na template. Okay? So dito, kahit anong gawin nila, okay, ay hindi nila magagalaw ito. Okay? Unless, pwede mo siyang edit ng long press to unlock. So ngayon, pwede nyo ulit itong galawin. Okay? So that's siguro yung pinaka-importante na technique. Always lock your templates so that when they come in, okay, hindi magagalaw yung Miro ninyo. Okay. So, yan. Okay, ito na yun. Okay. So, napakita ko na yung basic functions ni Miro. Okay? Napakita ko na kung paano ko siya ginagamit sa klase. Ngayon, let's go towards yung medyo advanced functions ni Miro. Okay. Miro has a voting platform. Okay? It has a voting mechanism. Okay? So for example, I will just click this, voting. Okay? Sabi ko nakikita niyo yung ginagawa ko. Okay? So ang ginagawa ko lang dito, Miro will ask you kung saan yung mga pwede kayong bumoto. Okay? So usually it can be anchored on a text. It can be anchored on an image. Okay? Then it will ask you, how many votes can you give? Okay? And then yung duration ng voting. For example, okay? I just want to have 1 minute of voting, and then I can vote, and each person would have 3 votes. Kunyari lang. Okay? I can set the voting, for example, na 1 vote per object lang, or pwedeng they can vote twice towards a specific object. For example, very useful to, kunyari, nagseselect kami ng best idea. Okay? So, voting function would be very beneficial for us, or is very beneficial for us. Okay. So, try natin gawin itong voting. So, kunyari, may voting ako, mag-assign ako ng 3 boto sa inyo. Okay? At i-assign ko na 1 vote per object lang. Okay? So, siguro ang itanong natin, saang college ang pinakagwapo at magaganda? Kunyari lang. Okay? Saang college makikita ang mga pinakagwapo at magagandang professors? Kunyari lang. Okay? So, I can start the voting now, and then Miro will now ask you to vote afterwards. Okay? Ipapakita ko lang. So, maybe you can also vote. Okay? So, start ko. Okay? So, nag-start yung voting. Okay? So, pwede ako mag-join ng voting. Okay? So, if I join the vote, ilalagay ko lang yung dun sa plus yung vote ko. For example, I vote for SEM, kunyari GS, kunyari PET, yun yung boto ko. If you want to undo your boto, meron ditong minus. Okay? So, ayan. So, hindi nakikita ng iba yung boto ninyo. Okay? So, ako nakikita nyo lang kasi nandito kayo sa screen ko. Okay. So makikita nyo how many participants already voted. Okay. 8 out of 16 already voted. Okay. 9 of 17. So sino kayang mananalo sa pinakamadaming prof na gwapo at magaganda? Okay. 12. Okay. So nung nag-end na yung vote, okay, it will already prepare yung results. Okay. Okay. A session with no votes casted. Kaya walang vote casted. Ayan. So, yan. So, papakita niyo yung winner. Okay. So, 12 votes for CAS, 6 votes from SEM, and 4 votes for CAPS. Okay. So, yon, isang advanced function siya ng Miro. Okay. So, isa siya sa advanced function ng Miro. You can have voting here. Okay. So another function of Miro or advanced function of Miro is that makikita ba ni teacher kung sinong bumoto? Wait lang ha, titinan ko nga. Wait lang sir ha. Parang hindi ko pa results. Tingnan natin. Yan. Yan, dinidiscover natin kung nakikita ni teacher yung votes. Sir, mukhang hindi nakikita kung sino yung nag-vote. Dito sa aking function, mukhang hindi ko makikita kung sino nag-vote. Okay, baka merong extra function siya siguro. Sige, let me discover it. Wala. So medyo anonymous voting yung nangyari. Okay. So next, may dalawa na lang akong function na i-share sa inyo. Hindi ko alam kung gagana yung isang function. Okay, but let me just check. Okay. Another function of Miro, kaya ako pinagawa sa inyo kanina yung tab, is that it can provide network, parang network analysis or network maps. Okay. So for example, I can click yung clusterizer. Okay, again, ito yung clusterizer. More tools, clusterizer. Okay. If wala pa kayong clusterizer, you can add it in the apps. Okay. So it asks me to select tag items on Miro board to generate yung aking network. So for example, I will select this. Wait lang ha. Hindi siya gumagana sa akin ngayon. Lang. Lagay muna ako ng iba. Okay. Clusterizer. Okay. It asked me to select tag items in Miro. So kanina nagbigay kayo ng tags. Okay. So when I select post it with tags, I can build it. Okay. So, binibuild niya yung networks natin. Yan. Mag-wait lang tayo. So, meron na na-create na network na yon. Okay? So, makikita natin yung connections ng different nating mga responses kanina. Okay? So, move ko lang to dito. Organize ko lang to. Wala, parang nasira yung ating network. Okay? So, sorry, nasira yung network natin. But generally, it will provide you a network or yung mga connection noong mga related tags natin kanina. Okay? Pwede ko kaya itong i-rebuild ulit. Okay, so yun yung isang feature ni Miro din. So you can create network maps here. Yung nga lang medyo nagulo ko pala yung network maps. Build na lang ulit natin afterwards. So yan. Tanggalin ko na muna siya ulit. Okay? So maybe I can share another network map. Nasaan yung network map ko dito? Okay. Maybe I can share to you another network map. Kumuha ko dito ng networks or yung post-its. So I can just use clusterizer and then build the network. So syncing. Okay. Wait lang ha. Medyo hindi gumagana yung zoom out ko. So ito, makikita nyo na yung mga prutas na color yellow na SAR. So ginamitan ko lang siya ng networks. Okay. So it is useful kung meron kayong kailangan yung mag-connect ng mga thoughts ninyo. Okay. So yan yung isang usage nung Miro. Okay. Last, okay. Hindi ko sure kung magiging effective ito. Okay. May bago pong feature si Miro. Okay. Na it can cluster using artificial intelligence yung mga responses ninyo. Okay. So it can cluster, for example, itong clustering. Okay. And then it asked me to select sticky notes which I want to cluster on the board. So kunyari, ito yung gusto kong i-cluster. Meron ba sila magkakapareho? And then I'll just select confirm. Okay. So magpa-process yung kanyang algorithm here. So kunyari, mag-select ako ng slow internet connection. Tingnan natin kung gagana siya. Okay. So, nung nag-select ako ng slow internet connection, it scans the post-its that I have that is similar to internet connectivity. Okay? So, out of these items, okay, kina-cluster niya na yung similar responses. So, for example, it provided me with 5 responses related to internet connection. Okay? So you can be conservative, okay? Hanggang dito lang, pwedeng yung default or pwedeng mas relax kung gusto niyo mas madaming items here. Okay. So if you use this clustering, so clustering just collects similar responses. You can gather it. So when you gather it, it just clusters them in a specific group. And you can name the cluster. You can name the cluster, for example, net connectivity. Okay. So, yan na siya. So, parang you are just gathering items here. Okay. So, for example, select other sticky note. For example, student don't regularly attend class. Okay. So lahat ng medyo related doon, okay, gawin natin conservative. Okay. Ay kinukuha niya na. So, nag-group na agad siya. So natutulungan na yung teacher to cluster yung responses. Okay. So for example, ito ay about attendance. Okay. So, ito siya. Though, ang challenge dito is, kaya ko pinasulat sa inyo ng English, is that yung clustering function ng Miro only functions in English language. Okay? So, yun. Okay? So, sige, balik ako doon sa aking quick presentation muna. Okay? Anong oras na ba? 10:12. Sakto pa naman. Okay. So, generally, these are some features of Miro, or yung gusto ko sa kanya. It's flexible and endless. It's cloud-based, meaning auto-save siya lagi. Okay? Copy-paste function works, meaning you can just Control-C, Control-V. Even from PowerPoint to Google Image, it works. You can present it. There's a presentation mode. You can communicate. There is a chat. You can have a timer. And may voting mechanism na siya. Okay. Can we download? Yes, sir. We can download yung responses doon sa Miro. Okay? So we can download using this function, itong export this board. Okay? You can export this as an image, as a PDF. Okay? You can download a file which can also be again retrieved as a backup. And then, hindi ko pa natatry itong spreadsheet, but I think when we download the spreadsheet, it will download the responses of the students. Okay? So, yun yung function niya. Okay? So, yun. So, I think medyo patapos na ako dito. Ang reminder ko lang dito lagi is freeze always. If you are creating a template, okay, always lock or freeze your template so that when you have your session, hindi nila magagalaw yung ating mga pinrepair na for them. Okay? So, yun yung atin. So, siguro pinakahuli ko na lang dito is, yan, yung quote natin na, tell me I forgot or I will forget, teach me and I will remember. And hopefully, using Miro, okay, you can involve them, okay, in the learning process para mas makapag-collaborate and mas matuto yung mga estudyante natin. Okay? So yun po, very quick overview ng Miro. Okay? Hindi po ako product endorser ng Miro. Okay? But then I find it useful or I find it very useful in my class. So halos lahat ng class ko ngayon naka-Miro para makakapag-recite sila at saka makakapag-provide sila ng inputs while we are having the discussion. Okay? So any questions pala kay Miro? Baka meron kayong tanong. So, again, hindi po ako power user ng Miro ha. So, based from experience lang yung sinare ko ngayon for us. So, yun po.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir, Chief, for that very engaging and very comprehensive demonstration on how to use Miro. So, for sure po, very beneficial po ito sa ating mga faculty members on making their classes highly interactive and promoting na rin po yung collaborative learning between and among students. So, at this point po, we're now ready to entertain questions from our participants. So, feel free po to send your questions sa ating chat box, or you may click the raise hand button if you want to speak and directly ask your questions to Sir Chief. Meron po ba tayong questions? Sir, ako may isang question, may nag-direct message sa akin.
Yes, sige ma'am.
Sir, ewan ko lang kung nasagot niyo to.
Kinakabahan ako sa mga questions.
Sir, ito, what is the maximum number of participants that we can invite to Miro?
Okay. If you are adding them in the class, okay, kasi there are two types of participants, I can say. So you can invite them as a team member, okay? Parang i-add mo sa klase. You can have as much as 100 students as a team member. Okay? So yung team member, parang kasama siya doon sa class mo talaga. Okay? But then, if yung public lang na binigyan mo ng link, tapos katulad ng ginawa natin ngayon, I asked you to be in my session, I provided you with the link, we can go beyond 100. Kasi nagkaroon kami yung webinar namin sa FNRI is more than 120 participants. So, yun. So, hindi ko pa naman na-reach yung limit, pero if you are including them in the education team or your class, the maximum is 100. Okay? But then if you just ask them to publicly enter your link, so hindi ko pa na-reach, pero I think more than 100 yung pwede doon.
Okay, sir. Sir, ito merong comment actually from Sir Nelio Altolero. So, Miro is a good collaborative work for students. I have been using Miro, but the only problem I encounter is the limit of 3 in the boards that can be edited at the same time.
Sir, hindi ko sure kung anong meron yung Miro ko, but then I can share. Or hindi ko lang alam, baka hindi ko nga din pala sa may edit. But yung Miro ko, parang meron akong, for example, ngayon na, ilan ba to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Medyo madami yung na-edit ko. Yung simultaneous na nagagamit ko ngayon, medyo more than 5 or more than 3. Hindi ko lang alam kung in terms of the limit. But then, or baka yung editing function. Kasi kunyari magbukas ako, yun. I'm not sure. Hindi ko pa na i-encounter yung malimit. Ang na-encounter ko yung sa limit in terms pag sa Padlet kasi kailangan kong magbura hanggang 4 yung Padlet, diba? Kailangan kong magbura bago ako magkaroon ng item. Nakikita niyo yung isang workshop namin. Okay. So, baka may question pa.
So may questions pa po ba tayo? I think wala nang question. Siguro talagang naging maganda naman talaga yung demonstration ni Sir Chip, no? So at this point po, we'll just award po the certificate of participation to our guest speaker. Let me share my screen po. Okay, let me first read the citation. Center for the Advancement of Teaching and Learning, Office of the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, University of the Philippines, Los Baños, presents this certificate of appreciation to Renan Silardo de Guzman, or Chip de Guzman. Sir, yung pala yung full name niyo po. No?
Ang layo, no?
Yes, sir. So, for serving as resource speaker in the training workshop on encouraging collabs with Miro, held on 22 of April 2022 at the Center for the Advancement of Teaching and Learning, University of the Philippines, Los Baños, College, Laguna. So, sign po ng UPLB Director, UPLB CATL Director, Dr. Edmund G. Centeno, and our Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Jean Loyola. So, thank you very much, sir.
Salamat din po.
Sa po ng invitation namin till our next invitation po. Salamat, Sir Chief.